Hello guys and gals, Buffalo here. You know, I kind of grew up in what I feel like is Mossberg country here. All my family members, the ones that were older than me, all of our friends, when I was growing up, when I was a kid, almost everybody that I looked up to had a Mossberg shotgun. And some of my very first shooting experiences were with the Mossberg shotgun. So when I first heard that Mossberg was going to get back into the pistol market, I was pretty excited. Now they made a pistol, one other pistol, that's been nearly 100 years ago, called the Brownie, but they've decided to get back into the market. They announced that, I think it was SHOT Show of 2019 or early in 2019. They announced the MC1 pistol, and that's what I've got here today. Now since then, they've came out with an MC2, but it's the MC1 that we're taking a look at today. It's a subcompact, single stack 9mm. Fits into the same size category as the Smith & Wesson Shield or the Glock 43. The head on that little C-zone target measures about 4 inches square. Let's see if I can keep them all on it. Not a bad little group. So what that means is, this is a single stack magazine, 9mm chambered striker fired pistol that's meant for ease of concealment. Very small pistol, easy to conceal. Now, this gun comes with 2 magazines. It comes with a flush fitting 6-round magazine and the 7-round magazine with the pinky extension. You can see they're kind of clear, translucent magazines. You can see the spring inside there. No steel feed lips, just a polycarbonate magazine. But this gun will also use Glock 43 magazines. The factory Glock 43 magazines will fit in this pistol. I think that was a pretty smart move by Mossberg to take advantage of the popularity of Glock magazines and the reliability. You know, nobody can deny that the Glock magazines tend to be reliable magazines. And it's kind of become a running joke on my channel, at least. I'm sure others too. Doesn't matter what gun I'm reviewing or showing you guys, somebody in the comments will always ask, but does it take Glock magazines? And I know they're joking, but this time it really does take Glock magazines. So pretty smart move there by Mossberg, in my opinion. It's got 3 dot sights. Those are steel sights. I like that better than the plastic sights you get on some of the guns, Glock. But I do like the steel sights, and these are SIG style sights, so there's plenty of aftermarket support for the SIG sights, and they'll fit on this pistol. Again, pretty smart move by Mossberg, taking advantage of something that's already there and already has an aftermarket support system. And there's the rain. The MC1sc has a 3.4 inch button rifled barrel, 1-in-16 right hand twist. You can see it's got slide serrations on the front and rear of the slide. Makes the slide really easy to get a hold of. Got a nice grip texturing on the grip here on the back strap and the front. Really like that. It's aggressive, but not crazy aggressive. Just about right. It does have some grip texturing on the sides, but that's not nearly as important as what's on the front and rear. That's where most of your grip comes in. Trigger on this little pistol is a flat trigger with a safety blade incorporated. Kind of like the trigger. It is kind of heavy, not real bad. It's advertised at between 5 and 6 pounds. I don't have my scale down here with me at the time, but I would guess it's closer to the 6 pound mark. And here's a look at that trigger. You've got your initial take up of the slack, and you've got a little more take up. Now you come to the wall, and it breaks pretty clean, but there is some over travel. But I would guess that around the 6 pound mark. As far as your reset, kind of a long reset right there, but it is audible and tactile. I like the reset. I don't have any problem with it, but as you can see, you nearly have to come all the way out to get a good reset on that trigger. Okay, I've got the 7-round magazine loaded up, and I've got one in the chamber. So 7 plus 1, like a lot of people would probably carry it. Let's see how it runs like that. Looks good. Got lock back. Ran nice. Let's try the 6-round plus 1. 6-round magazine loaded up. One in the chamber. Now this is the way I'd carry the gun. If I'm going to buy a small subcompact gun, I'm not going to put a magazine extension on it and make the gun larger when I need to carry it. If I'm going to carry a small gun, I'm going to carry it as a small gun, or I'm just going to carry a larger gun, if that makes any sense. I like it. So it's a very competitive market that Mossberg has entered with this MC1sc. And one of the ways that they're competing in that market, of course, is with cost. I looked the price up at one of the major gun retailers, and this price is, as of today, $5/24/2020, Prices change on firearms all the time, but just for comparison's sake, I looked them up. This was selling for $330 for this exact model with the 3-dot sights, while the Glock 43 on that same website was selling for $463. That's a $133 difference. That's a pretty significant cost difference. Now the sun's going to come out and blow my video out. But before I forget to mention it, this trigger guard, I really like that. Lots of room in there. Some of these trigger guards on these guns nowadays are so small, I can hardly get my big meat hooks in there. Let's see if I can hit anything from back here at 40 yards. I dropped that second to the last shot there. The magazine release is located here. Now you can switch that around. It's reversible. If you're a lefty, you may want to switch that around to the other side. It's not recessed. As you can see, it sticks up there. But that being said, I didn't have any problems with dropping the magazine while I was shooting or anything. Slide lock is located here. A lot of times with my grip, I'll engage that slide lock and it won't lock back after the last shot. I didn't have that problem with this particular firearm. Locked back every time the magazine was empty. Very reliable with that. Now, done some shooting today. I shot about 300 rounds of ball ammo through this, just full metal jacket. It was Blazer brass 124 grain. Pretty much my go-to target ammo anymore. You guys that watch the channel have seen me shoot that stuff many times. It's fairly inexpensive and seems to be reliable in just about everything. The only hollow points I put through it was a box of Hornady Custom 124 grain XTPs, a box of 20. So my hollow point experience is very limited. It gobbled up all 20 rounds without an issue. But of course, you want to practice with your carry ammo in this pistol and make sure it's going to run it. I have read some articles and watched some videos where people had trouble getting this pistol to run with hollow points. Like I say, I didn't have that problem, but I only shot about 20 rounds through it of hollow points. So not very extensive testing there. And besides, you want to test any gun with your carry ammo and make sure it's going to work, not just this one. This gun is rated for plus P ammunition. Now, I didn't shoot any plus P's through it, and even if this were my gun, and it's not, this was sent over by a friend of the channel, but even if it were my gun, I've got no need for plus P ammunition in a gun this small. I've said that in previous videos. If you want to shoot plus P through it, you're more than welcome, but I usually just stick with the standard pressure stuff anyway. Takedown on this pistol is a little bit different. Let's go over here to the table and I'll show you a quick takedown of this pistol. So Mossberg built this pistol, and before I leave it out, speaking of built, this pistol is built in Texas, so it's another USA made offering. I know some people are saying Mossberg jumped into the wrong market. That's an overcrowded market. Look, I welcome any new USA made gun. Bring them on. So if you want to be competitive and you're building these guns right here in the United States, bring it on. Made in Eagle Pass, Texas. Same factory where they assemble the Maverick 88, Maverick County, Texas down there. So yeah, like I say, you know, we live in a land of plenty when it comes to firearms right now. And it's easy to say, well, they shouldn't have jumped into that market or whatever. you can't have too many choices. This is another good choice, and a lot of people like this little pistol. I'm glad Mossberg's building it. So they built this gun to be taken down without pulling the trigger. On a lot of the pistols, you have to pull the trigger to disassemble, to get the slide off of the gun. You have to decock it. So they made an easy way to do that without pulling the trigger. There's a button back here on the back. What you want to do is remove your magazine, lock your slide back. All you have to do is press that button. Just be careful when you press it, but press it and pull out. You've got your slide cover right here. We'll lay that there on the table. Pull your striker out. Striker's there. Got a captive spring on it. Lay that on the table. Now, all you have to do, drop the slide, pull it right off the gun. Very simple takedown, very safe takedown. Not that the style where you have to pull the trigger is, in my mind, that's not totally unsafe as long as you're doing it properly every time. But for some people, they don't want to pull that trigger for no, just to take the gun down. See the slide here? I did wipe this thing out after I shot it. Got your captive dual recoil spring, and that is on a steel guide rod. .4-inch button rifled barrel, has a 1/16 right hand twist. Looks very, very similar to a Glock barrel, doesn't it? Very similar. And here's a look at that slide. You can see it's starting to wear in. Some of the finish is wearing where it slides back on that barrel. Very nicely finished, nicely machined. And here's a look at the lower. It is a polymer lower, striker fired, of course. Serial number is up here in the same place you'd find it on a Glock pistol. Now, the downside of that takedown, some people will point out that you could lose your slide cover, the rear slide plate, and they've got a point there. It would be easily lost if you don't watch what you're doing. But anytime you're taking the gun down, you're going to have parts that you need to keep an eye on. So, I don't know. I guess one more part to lose could be a negative. Just trying to be fair here and point out. Oh, putting it back together. Just drop your striker back in the slide. Goes together super simple. Let that focus. Take your button here, press it onto the striker, and just slide it right in. Very, very easy. Very easy to do. And Mossberg, according to their website, they've got that technique, that style of takedown. Excuse me, my allergies are getting crazy. Under license from Strike Industries. So it's a Strike Industries patent, and Mossberg licensed it. Oh my goodness. I put the striker and the cover on before I put the slide back on the lower. How many of you guys were yelling at me for that? So you got to put your slide back on, lock it back, and then drop the striker in. At least I did a pretty good visual there for you guys without having the lower on it. Drop your striker in. How embarrassing was that? Now, maybe I can get this focused better this time. So you've got your striker sitting in there. You just take your button, set it on it, pop it in. That's simple. So now we've got the pistol together. That was embarrassing, but you know what, guys? I'm a human. I'm just a regular guy out here doing this stuff. I'm going to mess up from time to time. But that's a look at the Mossberg MC1sc or subcompact. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I enjoyed putting it together for you. I want to thank my patrons over on Patreon. I've gotten over 100 patrons. That's pretty darn amazing to me. And those are the guys that are, you know, I round these guns up through my friends and stuff like that, and guns that I've bought, family members. But Patreon comes in handy for range maintenance, ammo for the shooting segments and stuff like that. It really helps out. So I appreciate all you guys. But that's all I got today, and I'll talk with y'all again soon.